be here in the midst of 2020, so thank you everyone for coming out. This is from Grey Wolf. I am tired of breaking my bones for unworthy men. None were less worthy than that child, that greedy hero of whom they'll sing through the ages, Prince of Arm. Was I not all things to you? Was I not pliable enough, strong enough, silent enough? Could I have been faster or more beautiful? I carried you, physically if not figuratively, on my back, young Prince of Arm. You with your fine, slender build and high-toned voice. They'll make a man of you in the stories. Me, they'll say I came from nowhere, offered assistance readily, and fell over my feet to aid you. They'll say you thanked me, bowed 3 times, and I disappeared back into the forest. A common saying in Russia, thank you is too generous, I'll take my payment in coin. I will take mine in the safety you promised. Imagine the field in summer, as the sun sets over the Taiga. You've never seen the sky so purple, and the belt of gold that rings over the pines, it's more precious than your coveted firebird cage, or the gold-plated mantle, or the silent Princess Helen. The hoof prints from your gold-maned horse still mark plods in the soft earth. Your 2 brothers took your flaxen-haired, quiet bride and left pieces of you scattered across the grass. Crows gather, already tasting the morsels of your sweet flesh. How pale your skin, even before your brothers hewed you limb from limb and threw your parts across the clearing. They laughed while they did so. I know because the crows speak of it as they tread over your cumbersome ribs and peek closer for soft liver or a kidney or a piece of your naive heart. Oh, how delicious to taste the brain of a prince. Hardly an inch of fat on him, still a boy, shame. One, ready to prize your right eye for her cheek, glosses out her dark wings. She senses my nearness in the final moment. The chick, ugly and pink, squawks indignant hunger. I snatch her in my jaws. Other crows take flight in flurries of coal black, cursing me for claiming their spoil. My kind, when there was a kind such as mine, we wouldn't eat your leavings. We don't feast on the fallen. We make it fall. Grey Wolf, I beg you, release my chick. I pour the ball of fluff from one paw to another. The scent of Ivan's entrails is in my nostrils, sweet as berries. It is the scent of century lost. I wonder what a snack I use. Let her go, you foul dog bitch. Pecks at my ear, she's a feisty one. Ay, listen then, crow mother. I'll let your offspring live, but you must do something for me. Fly off and bring me 2 types of water. One still from a deep well, and one which sparkles. Dew from the needles of the tallest pine in this forest will do. Yes, you'll have to work early in the morning, but do not fear, I'll watch over your youngling for now. Her watchful eye shines with panic and the concern only a mother has for a child left in the company of her most dear foe. Let her think what she will of me. The chick quivers beneath my paw. I hear its beating heart. Poor little thing, you keep going like that and you'll burst. I do not trust a wolf to keep its promise, Mother Crow intones. I am not a wolf. In Ivan's story, it's always Ivan's story, he is the 3rd brother to try and catch the thief stealing the golden apples in his father's orchard. The others, on 2 consecutive nights, fall asleep and fail to report the thief to Father Tsar Beredny. The nervous little nothing of a boy, so anxious not to fall asleep, washes his face with dew, and, in the lowest point of night, sees a firebird peek at the precious fruit. Why Berenday had the apple trees to begin with is never answered, for he acquired it the same way other powerful warlords obtain whatever desirous thing they like. He slew and he plundered. But you didn't hear that from me. I was meant to be getting on the good side of the Tsars at the time. They banished us Greys to the cruel, unkind forest, called us names like Baba Yaga and Hag, and slew those of us who came close to towns and villages. Heroes, they call themselves. Anyway, Ivan, clever Ivan, crafty Ivan, sneaks up to the firebird, plucks a single glowing feather from its glorious tail as it flies off, and in the morning presents it to his father. It's the greed of men that keeps this story going. You following me, little chick? I warned him. I warned every single fool who might take this path. I carved the words into the pillar myself. Follow on straight down the road and be cold and hungry. Go right and you'll be safe, but your horse will perish. Go left and you'll perish and so will your horse. I admit, I could have worded it differently. The path ahead is cold and bare, but follow it and leave me be. What does Ivan do? He gets his horse killed, of course, thinking he'll just get another. What is it with these men who think they'll acquire something newer? Of course, all was given to him from a young age. I admit, I ate his horse. I sprang from the edge of the grass where I'd been dozing. I love to be under the wide sky, though it is dangerous to hold a wolf's form in this day and age. I tore into the tight red muscle of the neck of his beautiful horse. It went down majestically, a glorious, forlorn death. He knew the stallion to submit to me, knew submission from his stabling in the Tsar's court, knew what it was to be gelded, whipped, beaten about the head, blinkered so as not to see what he might be missing. His lashes veiled his wide liquid eyes as he fell. I think it is a form of love to hunt, to catch in the straw. His great hooves beat the air. He came to rest as I clung to his shuddering back, my teeth lashed to his neck. How delicious, the meat of a fine thoroughbred. I would not turn my teeth to the rider, for that was not the deal. The clerk, my solemn vow promise to all those that pass here. I heard weeping, a sound I know too well. In the stories, they say the mighty Prince of Arn walked for a day, listening over his shoulder for the sounds of the grey wolf in pursuit of him. No, I'd outpace him in the blink of an eye. The young boy wept to see his beautiful steed torn before him. I do not shame him for this. It is not wrong for a man to weep, especially not for the demise of his worthy companion who carried him all these days. He had a narrow pale face with large blue eyes. A spray of blood freckled his cheeks and the linen tunic he wore. The raw leather of his boots smelled new, and I caught the scent of blood in the blisters of his heels and toes. He might have been a peasant, but for the gold emblem of the stag belted over his hip, so I knew he was a son of Berendei. His voice trembled as he pleaded with me not to take his life. A saying in Russia, 2 deaths will not happen, but one is inevitable, he concluded. I narrowed my yellow eyes. Boy, how could I break a promise written in stone? You knew what would become your horse if you came this way. You had a choice, but you valued your life above your beasts. Morose, he described his quest for the firebird, his desire to please his father, who he proudly admitted was Tsar Berendei himself, who might be persuaded to offer sanctuary to one like me, I realized. I laughed. You could have ridden for 3 years and never found that firebird, but hear me, Prince of Arn. I will assist you in your quest, and I ask in return only that you promise my safety, that I might walk and live in the existence of your father, in the kingdom of your father, and not be hunted as you have hunted all of us greys out of existence. I am one of the last, and I don't intend to spend the end of my days in a house on chicken feet like my sorceress, cousin Yagar. Imagine, he did not even ask my name. I did what I swore I would never do, because he was complacent, that boy, and had a sweet look about him. I lowered myself. Climb on my back and hold tight to my fur. I'll carry you to the fortress of Tsar Afron. He keeps his precious songbird in a golden cage. It's a gaudy work of art, lad, and I warn you now, do not touch the cage, but you can swipe the bird while it prins. It's quite captivated by its reflection in the mirror. I suppose you know what happened next.